Welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to make this thank you card using one of the stamps from the Paper Pumpkin March 2021 kit called Here's to You. So this is a Paper Pumpkin outside the box card, again using this little floral stamp from the bottom. There's a couple of different techniques we're going to be using in this card, so bear with me. It's a bit of a longer video. Because there's a couple different things going on. So what you're going to need is a Pear Pizzazz card base, a white cardstock 5 1/4 by 4, a balmy blue piece of cardstock 3 1/2 by 3 1/2, and another piece of white in 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 so we can mat it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create the background. And we're going to create the background using the Tasteful Textile 3D embossing folder. And we're going to actually ink the folder to create the background. And the greeting, we're using the thank you from the Peaceful Moments set. So in order to do the background, we're going to need, I'm using soft sea foam. The card and that is in Pear Pizzazz, but I found that the Pear Pizzazz was really quite harsh against this. So I'm using the soft sea foam and the balmy blue. And we're actually going to ink right onto the embossing folder. When you have the embossing folders, there's a rough side and a smoother side. The rough side is what's going to push up through the paper, and the smooth side is what's going to push down into the paper. And it's the smooth side we want to ink up. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the soft sea foam because it's the lighter color. And we are going to ink up the folder. We're literally just going to put the ink on, make sure that we've got really good coverage with that. And then we will pop this closed and we'll use the balmy blue. And because the balmy blue is the darker color, we use it second so that if there is any cross-contamination, it's not going to muddy the lighter set. So we're going to take the balmy blue and we're just going to push it onto the embossing folder, trying to keep a straight line so that we've got that straight line all the way across. And if you need to bring that line down a little bit, you can bring that line down a little bit. Just making sure it's even. So you need a good cover over your work surface, another piece of paper or something like that, just to stop the ink getting on there. Now what you're going to do is you are going to put your piece of white cardstock down on the one side, and then you're going to fold this over, close it down, and then you're going to put it on your platform with your 3D embossing folder plate, and you're going to run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss. If you're a viewer who hasn't subscribed yet, thanks for stopping by. And if you'd like to get notifications for when my videos are up, just subscribe and hit that bell. So we have now created our background. Your folder is going to be really messy. You're going to want some wet wipes or a cloth or something to just clean it up afterwards. I'm going to put some adhesive on the back and just, oh, I'm all sticky. There we go. So I'm going to put this right down on the background. And as I've said before, the ink when it's wet is sometimes darker than when it dries. And you can tell this is really dried, the balmy blue color, whereas it's a little darker here. So that's our card basically, that's the background done. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take Pear Pizzazz and we're going to use the Pear Pizzazz with a 3 1/4 by 3 1/4 white cardstock. There is a little ridge along the ground, like the flowers are growing out of the ground at the bottom of the stamp, and I don't want that on my card. So I'm just going to make sure I'm stamping so that it's just a little bit lower than the edge of the card. And then I'm just going to make that along the bottom, just like that. Now, this is an all-in-one stamp, so there's no separate flowers or anything. So what I did is I took my light Highland Heather on the thin end, and I just dabbed some dots on the taller flowers. I don't know if they're ferns or fireweed or what they're supposed to be, but I just wanted to put a little bit of extra color on them. So I just took, you can use whatever color you like if you prefer like a Poppy Parade or something else. You can use what you like. I just really like the Highland Heather, so I use it whenever I can. So that's that. What we want to do is we want to use the blender brushes just to kind of fill it in a little bit, because it'll just a little stark. So I'm going to use the soft sea foam again and one of my blender brushes, and I'm just going to dab in, start off the page and just blend it in. And we start off the page so that we don't get that kind of circle dot. Like if I do this, you can't really see it with this one, but you can see, I'll show you with the Balmy Blue because it does really show up on that. So there's just a little bit of background on that, and we'll do the Balmy Blue for the sky. And I love using the blending brushes to create sky because there's such a variety. Like the color is not one solid color, so it has the variance that a sky might. So you're going to start off so that you don't get that circle, because you cannot blend that circle out. So you're going to start off the page and circle in. And you can see the variation in the color. I'm going right down into the flowers. And you can just fill in wherever you think it needs a little bit. I think it needs just a little bit there. And we're just going to kind of run that over. And now I'm going to stamp the greeting, the thank you, on here. And I'm just going to stamp it straight on the card front, just like that. So there you go. And we can adhere the decorated piece to our mat, and then we're going to use dimensionals to stick it to the front of the card, and we are done. So there's a few steps to this one, and it takes a little bit of time to set up and a little bit of time to clean up, quite frankly, with the embossing folder, but it is really a cute card using the stamp set from the March 2021 paper pumpkin kit. And I am like a kid at Christmas waiting for my paper pumpkin kits. I love them, and I love thinking what else can I do with them. I think that the projects that they supply are awesome, and a really good jumping off point for other projects. So I'm just going to adhere this down, center it, and drop it down. And there you have it, a thank you card using the stamp set from Paper Pumpkin March 2021. Thank you so much for watching, and if there is anything in the video that you'd like to purchase, the links are below in the comments. Thank you so much.